Good morning, Year 2. Today we're going to be having a look at fractions again. I'm just going to share my screen with you, but before we do that, we're going to do a do now, looking at some clocks. So you can see 4 clocks on your screen, and I want to know what's the time and how do you know? Pause this video. Great, let's have a look at the first clock. So, what is the time and how do I know? The time is 12:15, and I know that because my minute hand, my long hand, is on the 3, 5, 10, 15, and it's just gone past 12. So the time is 12:15. Let's have a look at the next clock. The next clock shows me 1/2 and I know it's 1/2 because the minute hand is at the halfway mark. 5, 10, 15, 20 past, 25 past, 1/2, and it's 1/2, it's just gone past 3, so it's 3:30. Our next clock, the minute hand is on o'clock and the hour hand is on 9, so it is 9 o'clock. And lastly, a trickier one, the minute hand, the longer hand, is on the side of the clock that is 2, so it's not past, but it's 2. How many minutes 2 is it? Let's go backwards. It's 5. 5 to 9. It's nearly 9 o'clock. It's 5 to 9. Now we're going to be identifying halves, thirds and quarters of shapes. Half, because there are 2 parts. Thirds, when a shape is split into 3. And quarters, when a shape is split into 4. Now we've looked at halves and quarters before, but thirds is our new learning today. Let's go through our star words. We've got equal parts. We know that when we find a fraction of an amount or of a shape, that each part must be equal, which means it must be the same. Divide means share equally. Numerator, that's how many parts there are out of my whole. And my whole is my denominator. And as I said yesterday, I like to dig deep to remind myself that the denominator is the bottom number, and it tells me how big is my whole in total. What is the whole? The whole amount is, and then I have my vinculum, and my vinculum breaks between my numerator and my denominator. My whole, 2 halves, 1/2. Then I might have thirds, 1/3 and 1/4. So how could we just divide this square into halves? Is there more than one way? Pause this video, have a think, and then find out. Let's find out. So for this lesson, we're now going to have a look at cutting into halves again to recap yesterday's learning. So how can I divide this square into halves? Well, I could just cut it straight down the middle. Can you see any other ways I could find half? I could cut it into 2 equal parts this direction, or this direction, or finally this direction. There are 4 ways to find half of a square. How could we divide this into quarters? What shape is this? This is a square. What do we know about squares? We know we can cut them into quarters in how many different ways? In 4 different ways. So, way number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And all we need for it to be in halves is to have equal parts. How can we now divide our square into quarters? For quarters, I need 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal parts. Or, to find 4 equal parts, I could cut this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal parts. How can we divide this rectangle into quarters? I could cut it this way into half and then cut each half into half. Again, can you think of any more ways? Another way is I could cut these pieces in half. And I still have 4 quarters. Each piece must be of equal size. And my last one wasn't, so I'm going to draw that again. Cut this bit in half, because we know it's not quarters if the parts are not equal. How could we divide this rectangle into thirds? New learning. Thirds means dividing into 3. I need to cut my rectangle into 3 pieces. 3 equal pieces. 3 equal parts. I'm going to use my line. Now making thirds is a bit trickier because we only have to draw 2 lines. We need to think carefully about where we're going to place them. I think that is about a third, and that is about a third. Each piece should be the same size. You already know this. What did I need to do? How many parts does my rectangle need to be cut into? 3. I could also split it. I want 3 equal parts. 3 equal parts. One, 2, 3. 3 equal parts. It's in thirds. Next step of our lesson, reading the fraction. Draw the vinculum, count the amount of equal parts, and check. This is your denominator. How many equal parts do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal parts. Count the amount of parts shaded. 1 part has been shaded. My numerator is 1. My denominator is 4. Say the fraction of a whole. 1 quarter. 1 quarter. Let's read this fraction. Draw the vinculum. Count the amount of equal parts. 1, 2, 3. How many has it been divided into? 3. My whole has been divided into 3. How many of those parts have been shaded? 1, 2. My denominator and my numerator is 2. Numerator 2, vinculum, denominator 3. I say it as a whole, 2 thirds. 2 thirds. When we divide a shape into 3 equal parts, each part is worth 1 third. It's worth 1/3 of the whole. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. They must be equal. When we divide a shape into 4 equal parts, each part is worth 1/4. Each part is worth 1/4 of the whole. To write a fraction from a shape, this is going to be your learning task today. You need to draw the vinculum, count the amount of equal parts, write down the amount of equal parts, count the amount of parts shaded, 1, and say the fraction. 1/4 of the shape has been shaded. Step. Draw the vinculum. Count the amount of equal parts. 1, 2, 3. This is my denominator. 3 is my denominator. How many parts have been shaded? 1. One part has been shaded. Say the fraction of the whole. 1/3 of the shape has been shaded. What fraction of the whole is shaded? Steps. Draw the vinculum. Steps. Draw the vinculum. Count the amount of equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. My denominator is 4. Count the amount of parts shaded. 1. My numerator is 1. 1 of the 4 parts have been shaded. 1/4 of the whole is shaded. Your task is to draw the vinculum. Count the amount of equal parts in total. Write down your denominator. Count the amount of parts shaded. Your numerator, and say the fraction of the whole. I hope you enjoy your learning.